Okay, so this is something that's a bit new for me. Honestly, this is the first video I'm recording. It might not be the first one to be uploaded, but this is the first video that I'm recording ever. It's kind of interesting. I've been a streamer for about a month now, at this point in my career. And what I'm used to is talking to people, and people talking back to me, and doing some content where we kind of back and forth, you know? And it's been pretty good, enjoyable. But I'm branching out right now. This is going to be a new experience for everyone involved. Today, as you can see right there, we have a best of 3 versus Mr. James Baek. He is a YouTuber. He is a competitive Pokemon player. He got top 4 at Worlds last year. This man has done it all. His link will be in the description. I mean, if you don't know James, what are you doing here? Come on. James is by far easily a bigger YouTuber than I could hope to be in a long time. But we're going to jump into this battle. The goal today is obviously to have a good best of 3, but definitely I also want to go through a bit of my thought process. In team preview and also in kind of how I approach every turn, I want to make sure that it's easy enough to understand what I'm thinking. As I feel a lot of times on stream, I go through and I just pick my moves. You know, I don't really take too long with an explanation. So the goal today, talk a little bit about the matchup, have a fun best of 3 versus Mr. Baek, and maybe get a W. But I don't know. His team looks frustratingly hard for my matchup. But what I'm looking at right now, he's got a Braviary. It's probably Lumberry, as most Braviaries are. He's got the Poliwrath, Politoed core. I'm assuming there might be some Belly Drum or a Life Orb on that Poliwrath. I could see it going either way. Ferrothorn, Raichu, and Chandelure. I'm thinking he's going to go either Braviary Raichu or Braviary Poliwrath, something along those lines. So my Koba Berry Amoongus looks pretty nice. I'm thinking I actually want to go with an Amoongus Primarina lead to try to slow the game down a bit. I definitely need Hitmontop or Volcarona in the back to deal with that Ferrothorn. I think I'm going to go with Hitmontop. We're going to go Hitmontop P2 in the back. I don't want my Volcarona because obviously we're facing rain. I don't want Tyranitar, as even though it's good to get rid of the weather, it doesn't help enough versus the other Pokemon. So I'm thinking that what we're going to go with for this first one at least is kind of a slower approach. And I'm going to try to maybe get a Spore off, and if the Spore doesn't work, hopefully we can at least get some momentum with a Primarina. Not sure though. He's going to go with actually Braviary Chandelure lead. So kind of in the direction I was thinking, but not exactly. It's interesting to see him lead Chandelure though. It kind of makes sense. What I think he's going for here is probably something like Imprison, and he was thinking that if I go Porygon, he doesn't have a good way to stop that. Which is why I am probably going to be switching to Porygon in a moment here. I believe that it's just really safe to go for a Rage Powder here, and honestly a Hyper Voice. What we're going to do is we're going to Rage Powder and Hyper Voice, as it'll hit the Chandelure, chip the Braviary, and I have the Koba Berry. It doesn't seem like my Spore will be doing too much in this game. So my goal here is to just get some chip damage, and hopefully James doesn't go for anything too crazy, like even a Heat Wave could come out, and that would be alright. I'd be pretty okay with a Heat Wave. He isn't going to opt to Dynamax turn 1 though with that Braviary, like I said. I really think that that means that what he's going for turn 1 is going to be that Max Airstream and probably a Heat Wave. I think he's going to be doubling down into my Amoongus. But that's why I was figuring I'd Rage Powder. So at the very least, he can't fire off an Airstream into my Primarina, even if he wanted to. He's actually going to be faster with the Chandelure, which is weird because I think Max Speed Chandelure and Braviary Speed Time, which is actually really weird. It crits my Primarina. Airstream's going to come out too. That's definitely going to get a knockout on my Amoongus. But like I said, I was pretty much expecting that. I can't say I'm too surprised. Amoongus, it didn't do much, but I think protecting Braviary, or protecting from Braviary onto my Primarina 1 turn is probably going to be good enough. Because this turn, I believe I can go into my Porygon, and James shouldn't have a way to KO it. I don't think he should. He also shows that he's not a Life Orb on either of his Pokemon. And he's actually Focus Sash on the Chandelure, which leads me to believe that he's probably that Lumberry I was talking about on Braviary. I'm going to go Porygon now, though, as I don't believe he can stop my Trick Room. I think I can go for a Trick Room here, and even if he imprisons, I'm pretty safe to just go for a Trick Room, and I don't want to blow a Dynamax move into that Chandelier, but I'm pretty sure I have to. I think I have to go for a Max Geyser, which is weird, because I think I need a Dynamax so that my Primarina lives. But I don't want to, but I think I have to. So we're gonna Max Geyser into the... We'll Max Geyser into the Braviary and go for Trick Room. Actually, I don't think he's gonna stay in. That was a last minute decision. I didn't actually get to... I didn't really get to explain that hole in there. I ended up thinking at the last minute that the Chandelier would actually want to switch out because he knows that I'm gonna be targeting it down with my Primarina. So Ferrothorn actually comes in for James. So that was a weird last minute decision. Because he knows that I obviously need to get rid of that Chandelier if I want Trick Room to go up. And so he wants to preserve it, as it would be foolish of him just to sack a Pokemon for no reason. Max Knuckle actually comes out of the Porygon. That's going to do like 45%. It's weird that the Ferrothorn comes in for that. I'm not sure if the Ferrothorn wants that attack boost or not. The Ferrothorn getting that attack boost, though, makes me a little concerned if it happens to have Power Whip, too. So we're gonna get the Trick Room up. Porygon's a little damaged here, but I think it's in my best interest to Ice Beam the Ferrothorn and go for another Max Geyser on Braviary. Normally the 2 Max Geysers would not have been enough there to KO the Braviary, but with the Rain boost, I should be able to KO it. And also, it's off of Hydro Cannon, so with the Hydro Cannon boost, I believe I should be good to get the knockout. Like I said, that Ferrothorn only gets concerning if James happens to have Power Whip on it, but most Ferrothorns don't actually have a Grass move. Most Ferrothorns happen to have a Leaf Seed. Actually, he does have Power Whip. That one-hit KOs, that's so disappointing. Okay, so James actually has Power Whip. Typically, and this is quite unfortunate, typically when Pokemon, typically when teams with Ferrothorn on them have Power Whip, they're Assault Vest. And so looking at this now, it actually looks like it's going to be an Assault Vest Porygon from James, which is really, really bad for this matchup. It's interesting James didn't go Rain, though. So I'm feeling like maybe in Game 2 we can make an adjustment with Volcarona. He does show that he has a Rock move on his Braviary, though, which seems really annoying, too. Straight away, he also doesn't have many options against Tyranitar. Even though he does have like a fighting move on Braviary and a Ferrothorn, he might be pretty weak to Tyranitar. This is looking like it's going to be a real quick game 1. So Braviary's Dynamax is gone. I mean, basically, my only out at this point is to Ice Beam Braviary and actually fake out the Ferrothorn, which is a really weird play, because typically you don't want to fake out Ferrothorn. Obviously, in any competitive set, even though it looks like I basically lose, never want to forfeit, as you never know. You never know what could happen. Maybe James's computer dies or he disconnects. Obviously, neither of those are going to happen. But it's looking like game 1's going to be a wrap. I definitely learned a lot, though. He has a Rock move on Braviary. It's a little weird, but I guess I understand it. I'm thinking for game 2. It's just so interesting. There's 2 ways to go about it. I could either have to go Volcarona mode, which would be cool, but it doesn't seem the best against that Chandelier. Or I could go Tyranitar mode, which would involve going with... what am I gonna do? We're just gonna Ice Beam and Close Combat, double up on the Ferrothorn. It's weird, if I go Tyranitar mode, this Poliwrath is actually really threatening. And the words Poliwrath and very threatening are usually not together in a sentence. So I don't want to... We actually missed the KO in Ferrothorn too, which is a little disappointing. But I believe we're going to see what kind of Poliwrath, as it might just Liquidation or something here. Probably Liquidation, or maybe even Waterfall if they're still running that. Actually, just Close Combats. Okay. Close Combat's definitely going to take me out. Interesting. Interesting stuff. So no Politoed from James. He didn't seem to be too afraid of... And it is Life Orb. Okay. So yeah, it's just an offensive Poliwrath. That's what I was figuring. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Yeah, looking into game 2, I feel like I probably want to go with a Tyranitar. A Tyranitar lead. Tyranitar lead looks good. Because I feel like James wants to do the same thing. I don't think he has much of a reason to switch it up. Let's get some Marty. I don't think he has too much of a reason to switch it up. But at the same time, even if I do go with this game plan, the Poliwrath is still so annoyingly bulky against all of my rock and dark moves. Maybe Volcarona is the way to go. What if we lead Porygon T-Tar? If Porygon T-Tar is a lead, doesn't seem too bad. With like Volcarona Amoonguss in the back? That's a little weird. But I'm thinking that this might be able to do it. I'm thinking with the Tyranitar lead, if I get enough offense early enough on the Braviary, and the Chandelure too, but mostly the Braviary, the Amoonguss and the Volcarona should be able to clean up anything in the back, as long as he doesn't bring the 2 rain Pokemon. But if he brings the 2 rain Pokemon, that means he probably doesn't have a Ferrothorn or Chandelure, which makes my matchup a bit easier for the other Pokemon. I'm not sure how this is going to go. We're going to lock in with that Porygon Tyranitar lead with Amoonguss and Volcarona in the back. It's interesting. I wasn't expecting that Braviary to be as threatening as it was. It seemed to be very bulky too. Braviary Poliwrath is actually going to be the lead. So he opts to lead with a fighting type and something with fighting coverage. So I'm afraid here. I'm very afraid, right? Because what happens here is I want Trick Room, but I can't have Trick Room because he probably is going to double my Porygon. But if he does double my Porygon, then I am in a pretty bad spot. It's interesting. So I think I go Amoonguss. This is a 50-50 turn 1 because both my Pokemon are so weak to fighting. I think I'm gonna go Amoonguss, and we're going to just normal Rock Slide. Do I normal Rock Slide? Oh man, this is so bad. This is so bad. James like cornered me turn 1. How did he get me so bad turn 1? He like called me out to not lead Primarina again, which is crazy. We gotta hope that he double fighting moves into the Amoonguss. This is not a good look. This is not a good look for our boy here. So the Braviary is Dynamaxing like I thought. What I assume he's doing is he's Max Knuckling, and he's also Close Combating. He's actually, okay, so we get the Max Knuckle into Amoonguss, right? That leads me to believe that he's going to be also Close Combating the Amoonguss. I don't know if that's true, but if that's true, we have a chance. It is not true. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so bad. I wasn't sure if that would be the case. If I got Trick Room up there, I think I might have just won. This team does not have a Braviary Poliwrath answer, I'll be honest with you. Or Braviary Excadrill for that matter. Braviary is a really bad matchup. But I think we're going to have to go Porygon here. Yeah, I mean, all I can do is like Dynamax Amoongus. All I can do is Dynamax Amoongus. Okay, so what we do is we Dynamax the Amoongus. Or no, hold on. There's actually a win con here. We Spore Poliwrath, and we Ally Switch. This is a stupid win con. We Spore Poliwrath and we Ally Switch. Because if what he does is he Airstreams into the Amoongus and he close combats the if he close combats into my... Yeah, so Airstream goes into Porygon. Porygon. Literally Porygon right there. He crits... Oh, James. If he didn't crit me, I think that was the perfect game plan. Because we Ally Switch. His Airstream goes into P2. Then next turn, we get to... the close combat goes into Amoongus. And I mean, it's going to do a lot of damage, but next turn we can Rage Powder away. He double crit... James Baek, how could you do this to me? I mean, we get the Spore on Poliwrath, but at what cost at this point? I mean, like, the funniest thing, right, is I think I still have a crazy win con. An absolutely insane win con that shouldn't exist. Like, it's not a good one. And I'm very disappointed in that crit. The double crit, even. I'm very, very sad about that. Because what I was thinking is I Ally Switch out of the way. The Max Airstream goes into Porygon, the Close Combat goes into Amoongus, Poliwrath goes to sleep, and the next turn I'm free to Rage Powder and Ice Beam, which would get rid of the last turn of his Dynamax. But now I need a Quiver Dance. And so here's what I'm thinking. We have to max the Amoongus. Okay? Because what happens here is we're going to Quiver Dance, right? And we're going to Dynamax the Amoongus because he's going to Airstream the Amoongus slot. And the only way we stop that, because he can't get a speed boost. If he gets a speed boost, we lose. So what I need is I need to Dynamax the Amoongus to max guard. And then his Airstream fails because I max guarded. Then we got a Quiver Dance off. And because we get a Quiver Dance off, we are free to go. And then we need to like crit a Heat Wave. But I believe in our boy Big Amoongus. Big Amoongus is coming out. If he just max Airstreams into Volt Corona, we basically just lose. And that would be really funny, but really sad. Airstream goes into the Amoongus. Let's go, we got him. We got him. Alright, there is such a small chance of victory here. But at least there's a chance now. There's at least a chance now. Wait a second. Maybe it's... Oh, it's gotta be Goggles Braviary, right? It hasn't taken any sand damage, has it? No, it has taken sand damage. Okay, never mind, I'm lying. It's gotta be Lumberry. You don't confidently lead Braviary into an Amoongus and not be Lumberry. Okay, so his Dynamax ends. Now, if my Heat Wave KOs the Braviary, I think we win. I think we win the game. So let's all pray a little bit. And if the Heat Wave KOs Braviary, we win the game. And then, well, we don't win instantly, but we can win. Right now, if that doesn't KO, we lose instantly. What we need is a miracle. Because if Heat Wave KOs and Poliwrath doesn't first turn Wake Up, we get a double knockout. I believe what my opponent, James Baek, will have in the back is probably Ferrothorn and maybe Chandelure, but I could really easily see it being Politoed. And if we get the grassy terrain up by max overgrowth in the Poliwrath here. Alright, let's see what we got. Braviary. Oh, I fumbled the bag. I fumbled it. I fumbled and tumbled it. He had a speed boost already, so he's faster because he's Jolly Max Speed. I don't outspeed Jolly Max Speed Braviary. I thought I did. Alright, well that's unfortunate. We can't win this game. So that's good games to Mr. James Baek though. Amoongus coming in, getting a knockout here on the Poliwrath. I still can't believe that double crit. That double crit seemed to end the game in a way that it definitely shouldn't have. Because I was kind of setting up for the endgame Volcarona. And definitely did not work out that way. Not when you lose your not when you lose all of your HP like that in one turn. Both your Pokemon taking 1.5 times damage more than they should. You definitely can't preserve what you need there. So I didn't get Trick Room, and I think that was pretty much the end of it there. Dynamax Amoongus though, really funny. If I would have been out fast, if I would have outsped that Braviary, you know the worst part? I think I hit like 144 or something. I hit like right below. I want to know now. No, I hit 134. Okay, so we're a bit slower because max Braviary hits 145. We're gonna max guard just because we can. That's so funny. DYNAMAX and the AMOONGUS. It was the play though. You can't say for 1 second it wasn't the play. I just should have had a better Volcarona spread, honestly. I mean, the one takeaway I have from this though is Braviary is pretty cool. I kind of like Braviary now. So, can AMOONGUS do it? That's the question. Can AMOONGUS do it? The answer is no. The answer is definitely no. But I think, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna run. Personally, I believe that if you're in a situation like this, you should always preserve your last Pokemon. Don't let them have... He may have the victory, but I get to keep my AMOONGUS. AMOONGUS served me well, and he's my boy till the end. We don't let Mr. Baek take our AMOONGUS. So, my AMOONGUS, James. You may have taken all of my HP on all of my other Pokemon, but AMOONGUS is mine. So, that was very unfortunate best of 3, honestly. I think we are going to hop over to Discord real quick and try to get a call with James. Talk a little bit about that matchup, because I think he'll agree with me. That didn't look too good for me for the start. But I'm definitely going to see what he thinks about that DYNAMAX AMOONGUS. We'll be right back. Alright, so that was not my finest set I've ever played, I gotta be honest. But to wrap it all up, we do have a post-set interview with the man himself, Mr. James Baek. What's going on, James?
What's going on, everyone? I hope you enjoyed that set. It might have been a bit of an ugly slaughterfest, but yeah, that was pretty rough matchup-wise.
It was a bit. I mean, obviously, you know, that's part of the game. I can't feel too bad. Bringing a team, you always gotta hope you hate your matchups at least a little bit.
Yep.
But so we have 2 questions here. One of the things I was really surprised about was I was even saying in my recording here, I was like, you know, that game 1 plan worked so well for James. I don't see why he would ever switch it up. So I ended up going with the Tyranitar lead. But obviously you had some other ideas. You went with that Poliwrath, which really it put on a lot of pressure immediately. So what were you thinking by doing that there?
So game 1, obviously the lead matchup wasn't exactly in your favor, and you kind of just got obliterated by like Braviary plus Chandelure just knocking out the AMOONGUS. You couldn't spore anything, and really you got like, I guess he broke the sash on Chandelure, which was, I thought was like okay for Sam Trick Room, but like even if you got Trick Room up with the Porygon 2 position with like Primarina, I just switched in Fairphone anyway, so I didn't think it was like that big of a problem. So I'm like, okay, was he going to adjust here? And I thought Tyranitar was definitely going to be leading here, since I didn't lead like Rain exactly, and like it's probably the best Pokemon to counter the Braviary lead, since like if you max Rockfall, you probably knock out Braviary, assuming I don't go for Steel Spike. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lead Braviary and Poliwrath, because I still have to worry about the AMOONGUS lead. I was probably like more suspecting like maybe like Tyranitar AMOONGUS, or like maybe even Tyranitar Primarina's lead. So I'm like, okay, I'll lead Poliwrath because I have Life Orb close combat, and I could like knuckle or even Steel Spike close combat and pick up a knockdown Tyranitar, even if it Dynamaxes.
Yeah, that Knuckle and the close combat, like, they both did so much damage. I mean, honestly, when you're close combat, I feel like it did like 50% to my AMOONGUS at +1, and I was like, that's actually kind of insane, because I have a lot of physical defense in that AMOONGUS. So, Poliwrath, not looking so bad right now, I gotta be honest.
I think that, no, it's because I did like 80% when I crit you, so yeah, I guess it's 50% technically with the +1, but...
Yeah, I was kind of guessing what it would have been.
Base 95 attack is exactly the best, but when you have like a really strong move like close combat, which we got like Poliwrath finally got in this generation, it never got superpower or close combat until this generation. It finally did. Its best fighting move was Dynamic Punch, I think, or something like Submission.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun like thing to have here, and I've been testing on stream for the past couple of days, and it's been like really fun to use Poliwrath, even though it's not been the best. It's been like pretty fun just to use.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So the other question though, that I think is kind of the highlight of the video, in my opinion, is the DYNAMAX AMOONGUS play. Obviously, it didn't end up panning out because my Volcarona happened to be slower than your Braviary. But what were you thinking when you saw that? When you saw the DYNAMAX going off, what were you thinking about that?
I'm like, okay, is Ashton trolling me right now? Like, I thought you were trolling me. Actually, I'm like, did he actually just give up? And then you reveal like you max guard, and I'm like, oh, that's super smart, because I like. In the position I'm in, I just don't let him get a free Spore off into my Braviary, which will pretty much beat the Volcarona anyway. So I'm like, I always airstream the AMOONGUS here. But then you reveal the max guard, and if you protected normally, you would have fainted because you were like at what, like or something.
Yeah,
I'm
I had
like,
like
wow.
93.
I was like, wow, that's a super big brain play because then he gets the quiver dance off, and then he could probably hope for like a crit something into my braviary, assuming you got speed and could knock out the braviary. Um, which crit you, I didn't know if you knew that I had assault vest. I assumed because the Primarina
Yeah.
damage in game one, but like I was like, wow, this is super big brain play. Unfortunately, then he revealed you were timid Bocarona or even modest max speed Bocarona and just got out of bed.
It
And
was very sad.
yes, that was a very sad bug.
Yeah, I actually thought you were Lumberry for the whole time. I gotta be honest. I was saying like the whole battle. I was like, yeah, I think looking at the team comp, the Lumberry makes sense, and the Rockfall even makes sense too, because against like Sun teams with Venusaur, you can Rockfall against them as you take a Spore or a Sleep Powder and whatnot. So I actually wasn't thinking of Assault Vest, even though the Hydro Cannon didn't do like much damage at all. I kind of wrote that one up to me being Assault Vest and not having much damage output. So it was interesting when you told me that you were Assault Vest. I was like, huh. I didn't see that coming at all. So if I would have seen Steel Spike though, I would obviously. I mean, I would have seen 4 attacks, but
Yeah, because I don't think I revealed Steel Spike yet. I actually was thinking about going for like turn one of game one, I think. To try and catch like a Tyranitar switch in for your Amoonguss, because that's what I was kind of anticipating. But since you didn't bring Tyranitar, like Airstream was like, okay, I guess.
yeah, not bringing Tyranitar game 1 was. I even said it in team preview. I was like, I don't think Tyranitar is justifiable. Even though it beats Chandelure and Braviary, I'm more worried about the other Pokemon. And then Chandelure, Braviary lead, and I was like, hey, that's not that good. That's not what I wanted to see.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate in hindsight.
Yeah. I mean, so this was obviously not the best set, like I said, I've ever played, but I gotta be honest, all that means is that now I can have the revenge arc. We are gonna be back at some point, hopefully doing a little bit better than I did this time. Obviously, losing to somebody like James, can't feel that bad about it. We're both high level players. I don't feel that bad. James wiped the floor with me, but you know what? That's okay. So all this means is that it sets up for an even better revenge arc in the future. So expect more. We're definitely gonna be playing more. I gotta get some wins here.
Yep, Ashton's definitely done it before. I mean, I think I was up on him in tournaments for a long time until like he beat me in the most important match of our career sets, and that was the 2019 LISC finals.
Yeah, that was. I think that was kind of a turning point for me, honestly. I was always kind of afraid to play you, and then like, at least in that set, I felt like I had a pretty good understanding. I know we played one of my favorite matches, just to touch on it real quick, is when we played. When I don't remember what you were running. I think you were running Rayogre, Gengar, and I Incendiumed your Incineroar as you turned out to your Gengar. And that's like, I just think about that whenever I.
Oh, the Hartford set. That was a heartbreaker, to be honest.
Yeah, that one was so funny. And then I end up losing to the Precipice Miss in game 3. But doesn't matter, that's Pokemon. It's just kind of funny. That's what I think of when I'm like, do I have like a read on how James plays? Do I like kind of get him? And then I'm like, yeah, I Incendiumed the Incineroar. So I always feel at least a little bit better about that. But anyways, we always have some competitive sets. So that's going to be it for today. Honestly, even though it was a little bit of a, mess, I gotta say, it was still pretty fun. And I'm looking forward to playing with you more in the future. You got any last words, James?
Of course, we got to get the revenge arc here. Probably different teams, and hopefully it's a more evenish matchup, or at least not as bad as it was for your end, because that was actually pretty bad. Yeah.
All right, everybody definitely go. I got James in the description. Definitely go check him out. Like I said, though, at the beginning, though, if you don't know who James is, the content creator, where you been? So that's it for today. Hopefully, I'll have my team building guide up soon. I'm still working on that. But that's it for me today. I'll be streaming. Link is also in the description every day at 7 p.m. Don't want to miss that either. And I'll see you tomorrow.